Hi, you guys. Welcome to C Squad Cinema, a compendium for physical media, film reviews, ramblings, and other nerdy movie talk. And if you're joining me for the first time, if the YouTube algorithm led you to me, then thank you for stopping by and watching. This is literally my first video. It's something I'm very excited but also really nervous about, so bear with me as I work out all the kinks. And if you end up sticking around after today and you have suggestions on what I can do better, sound or video-wise, let me know down in the comments so that I can improve going forward. Starting a YouTube channel dedicated to physical media and film reviews, movie talk in general, it's almost something I didn't do. Went back and forth on it for a really long time. But let's face it, it's 2024. I am pretty late to the party as far as channels that cover that very thing. There are a lot of channels out there, and some really great ones that talk about all of the things that we love as cinephiles, many of which I'm subscribed to. And as a longtime viewer of many of those channels, I didn't really know what I could add to the conversation. But a video posted by one of my favorite YouTubers not too long ago had a very interesting prompting question. Where are the cinephiles? And it was a question really directed at the movie-going audience in general. Why aren't people showing up to the theater unless it's for some established franchise, some Hollywood tentpole that's a sequel or a remake to something that's already established? And for me, it was a pretty introspective question because it was an interesting summer for movies, and there were a handful of things that I went to see that I wondered that very same thing. Where is the audience? One of the best movies I saw all summer was Viggo Mortensen's The Dead Don't Hurt, and nobody showed up. The audience is sort of absent from things in a way that they didn't used to be. And that really prompted me to think about the quality of the theatrical experience and how diminished it is, or at least how inconsistent it is compared to how it used to be. The theater where I live, for instance, just sold over half its screens to a private business, leaving them with only 4. So I don't ever even know if something I really want to see is going to come to my local theater. The flip side to that is that I feel really lucky. I live about an hour away from the largest screen in the Pacific Northwest, the only true IMAX screen in the state where I live. And then about a half an hour away, there's a theater that has a lot of screens, and they're showing all the new things that you would expect, but they've also been going back and showing films from the 80s or 90s, things that I never had the opportunity to see on the big screen that I've gotten to now. And that's been really fun. There are so many things that have affected the theatrical experience now that, in a way, I almost don't blame people for not showing up. I mean, you have streaming, first of all, and that's opened the floodgates for all kinds of ways to consume films at home for sometimes reasonable prices, even though I'm not a big believer in streaming. I don't like the quality. Unless you have really great bandwidth, you have quality issues there and video compression. Not to mention licensing issues. Things come and go from streaming all the time. So if you want to watch something, sometimes even if you buy it, it could get pulled off of the streaming service into the ether and it's not yours anymore. So as a general rule, I'm kind of against the streaming methodology altogether. And then obviously some events from a few years ago completely shifted how theaters operate. And I think that has affected the audience behavior as well. Theaters struggle to bounce back from world events, and some of them have really been struggling. And with the price of things right now, I mean, going to a movie theater is expensive, and you shouldn't have to worry about breaking the bank to take in a film that you really love. So as a cinephile myself, I fully recognize the things that have hindered my own ability to always get out to the theater to watch something that I love. But I'm very thankful that there are still theaters that are trying to do innovative things and showing older films to keep cinema relevant. So basically, that's why I'm here. I am a cinephile at heart, and I have fallen in love with some truly great films that I only found out about watching somebody's channel who also loves cinema. So as a longtime consumer of some of these channels, I've already been a part of this community for a long time. It's bolstered my love of film and made me add to my collection, which brings me to physical media, which to me is the ultimate frontier for keeping cinema relevant. And in the last couple of years, there's been all this talk of, oh, physical media is dying out. Best Buy, they stopped selling movies. Oh no, what are we going to do? But I'm here to tell you, friends, that as far as physical media is concerned, it is a time to be alive. There are some great labels out there preserving cinema for those of us that love it. From standard bare bones releases that just preserve the integrity of the film itself to these fully fleshed out box sets that cover every aspect of a movie that you can think of and all the swag that comes with it. There is a landscape out there that is a cinephile's dream. So for me to be called out with that question, where are the cinephiles? Well, I'm right here. And I still love watching and learning about films, but I also love talking about them and sharing them too. One of my favorite experiences of all time is sitting down with a close friend or family member and showing them a film they've never experienced before. I love seeing people's reactions to a plot twist or an emotional arc or character development. And to me, that's the beauty of cinema, telling a story in a way that really affects us when we watch it. And I think it's pretty magical that we have technologies now that can preserve films from, decades ago and make them look almost brand new. So that's my hope, is that the C Squad Cinema channel will be the equivalent of sitting down on the couch and sharing a film with you for the very first time. So yes, I'll be doing a lot of the things that the other channels do, discussing films, reviewing them, doing some rankings, showing you some great physical media releases, and hopefully occasionally discussing a really tremendous theatrical experience, which are harder and harder to come by. But because sharing cinema also means more than just discussing it, I also want to do some giveaways, because if I can get a film into your hands that you've never experienced before, and you can fall in love with it and increase your love of cinema through that process, then I will feel my mission is accomplished. So stay tuned. I'll have a lot more coming your way, and I'm really excited to start talking about some fantastic cinema. So that's all I got for now, and I'll see you next time.